Okay, we'll just do that for right now.
Hi, everybody. It's Georgia Rose in the Soul Space, and it is time for Zencuda Soul Space. So thank you all for joining me. I have Sally, my engineer, here tonight. I love her so much.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sally and I are the only women who could build a whole house in 5 minutes before airtime. So thanks for joining us. Boy, we have a lot to talk about tonight. You can call into the show. Numbers on the screen. I hope that you're sharing the show if you're looking at us on Facebook, on Gov's Comedy Club, and if you are online at govsradio.com, tell all your friends to join in. So you can call in, you can comment, you can do all sorts of stuff. So what's the big news tonight? Big news is the eclipse. We've got a full moon, lunar eclipse in Sagittarius happening at like 4 a.m. And I do believe most of us are feeling it already. I'm hearing a lot of different reports. I'm hearing everyone from being cranky to great things happening to people all over. So tonight we're going to do some tarot. I'm going to be going through the zodiac signs and reading for people. And I also am going to be taking calls live if you want to know something about your chart. And we're going to go over some things about the eclipse. So, Sally, where were you?
Yes.
Where were you 18 years ago?
Oh, geesh. Let me think. You know what? I'm going to have to, count on my fingers.
You have to think about that. Oh, that was probably around 2001.
All right. You know what? I was probably 34. You know what? 37. So I was about to be pregnant with my second child.
Ah.
So I had Sam. Sam was like 3 years old.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Birth.
I was kids and birth.
The reason I ask that is because the eclipses come around every 18 to 18 and a half years.
Am I getting pregnant again? Because I really don't want to get pregnant
you
again.
You may be very fertile.
I'm very, very old.
No, you're not. You're
yes.
youngin'. So eclipses are an 18 and a half year cycle. And then, of course, you have the opposites at that 9-year point. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But everyone in the audience, if you can think about what was going on in your life in 2001, this may be the culmination of that theme. And this is a lunar eclipse. So lunar eclipses are usually endings, culminating in something. This is also a full moon, which is also endings. Plus, this is happening on the south node of the moon at 5 degrees of Sagittarius. So what does that mean? It means that it is definitely a time of completion. It's a time of removing things from our life just so that we can actually bring in some new things. It's a great time for rebirth, but those rebirths probably aren't going to start to happen until a little ways off, at least a few weeks. But for now, we are making closings and doing all kinds of culminations in our life. So let's see who's online tonight with me. I'm going to go on and see. I got to use my little phone here. Let's see where I am. Give us all a shout out if you're in the audience tonight. And if you do want me to go over your chart at all, just call into the show and we'll get you on. So here I am, Gov's Comedy Club Radio on Facebook. And there I am live. So who have I got on here tonight? I've got Marianne and Janine, and I've got 2 other people, which I don't know yet, and a few others. We've got everybody starting to come on now. So yeah, so the eclipses take about an 18-year time period to loop around and culminate. So whatever was beginning in your life 18 years ago is probably going to come to completion around now. Because it's a south node eclipse, which means that this is happening right on the south node of the moon, that sometimes is past life, ancestral. It could be family relationships, depending on where this is taking place in your chart. So the first thing I'm going to do tonight is go through the different zodiac signs and let you know how this is going to affect you. Now, in order to do that, I don't know everybody's sun sign out there. So what I do is I go by rising signs. And if you don't know your rising sign, you can get a free chart on astro.com. And you go on and you simply put in your birth date with your time if you know it, or as close to you know, and place of birth, and it will bring you up a chart. Whatever is the first house of your chart is your rising sign. So if you see the symbol for Sagittarius in the first house, then you're a Sagittarius rising, and that is where this eclipse is happening. So it's going to affect you most, Sagittarius and Gemini. because that's the opposite end of the chart. Hey, Gina Marie. So
And it was 2003, right?
yeah, around that time,
Okay.
like spring of 2000, I'd say from 2001 to 2003, because usually the nodes stay in a sign about 1.5 to 2 years.
Okay, thanks.
So that was when your son would be 18 now.
No, he's 21, so that's why I was saying 2003. He was born in 2000.
Yeah. See, I got married to my ex-husband in 2000.
Okay.
And then the strange thing was, I'll show you how this works. So I'm a Sag rising, and this is the last time that the Sag was Sag, and the North Node was in Gemini, South Node in Sagittarius, and we had an eclipse then in spring of 2001. I got married in fall of 2000. At the halfway point, right, we were together for many years before then, but at the halfway point was when we separated. And then at the culmination, you know, if we were together, it would have been our 20th anniversary this past year.
Okay.
So that's the cycle.
Okay.
So what I was thinking about was, well, where was I back in that time frame? I bought a new house. I changed my life that way. So I know to expect that it's going to affect those places in my chart now.
Okay.
And it's so funny because I just remodeled my home. So it's playing out in different ways. And also back then, my career took off like crazy. It was real estate at the time. And that was when I first started to really become totally entrenched. And now I have this beautiful new career in the spiritual world.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a
So
parallel.
it's a rebirth of your career.
Yeah, because it affects those houses in my chart. But I want to just show everybody the chart of the moment, which is right here. Can you see this? Am I tilting it up enough in the camera, Sal?
Yeah, I would tilt it up just a little bit more.
How's that?
Yeah, that's good.
We're good? Okay, so if you look at this chart, everyone, the houses that we're talking about, this is the chart of the moment. This is like the world chart of where the planets are right now in transit. So this is the house of Sagittarius right here, and you can see the south node there. The moon's going to come around tonight and hit that point basically within 5 degrees. The eclipse is hitting at 5 degrees of Sagittarius. The nodes are around 10, 11 degrees of Sagittarius right now, south node. Across the chart is where the north node is, right over here in Gemini, again at 11, 12 degrees. So the sun is at 4 degrees right now of Gemini. It'll be 5 degrees of Gemini tomorrow when the moon is exactly across from it. What does this mean? It means that that eclipse that we have, the sun is behind the earth and the moon is on the horizon. That's why it's a lunar eclipse. The sun is actually casting the shadow of earth on the moon. So we can't see it where we are, but in other parts of the country, you would actually see the moon go dark and then become light again in the fullness of it. So symbolically, that means that the illuminations, the sun and the moon, the illuminators of our life, the illuminators of our world, are going dark, in shadow, and then becoming light again. So whatever is going on in your life that's in shadow or in the shadow of yourself that you keep hidden will be revealed in a flash. Sometimes during eclipses, things happen that are very spontaneous. They can be things that are unexpected. They can be things that are benevolent and good, because this being a South Node eclipse, it's going to really be about karma. Saturn is also retrograde. Saturn is the law of karma, the king of karma. So in this eclipse, we're getting a lot of payback, whether that is rewards or whether that is punishment. I hate to use that word, but what you will reap what you sow in this eclipse cycle, because Saturn is coming through to show us where our karmic debts are. So those karmic debts will be repaid. So if you've been a very good girl, you're going to get some beautiful, benevolent things happening. If you've been a very good boy, you're going to get some rewards. If you've been not listening to Saturn and not doing your Saturn and not taking care of what Saturn wants you to take care of in your life, then you're probably going to get a Godsmack in some area of life that is. Saturn right now is in Aquarius. So anyone who is an Aquarius rising, this also will affect you greatly. So I'm going to go through the houses really quickly. And you can look up your rising sign. And depending on where that rising sign is in the chart, you're going to know, where that really takes place and what house it's in. I'm going to look at my notes here. Also, what you want to do is you really want to be aware of how you're acting in the world. We talked a little bit about that last week. And full moons can bring in culminations and endings. Really be aware of that, but also be aware of your response, because what you want to do is show the universe through your actions what you really want to receive from this eclipse and from the universe. So don't act in a manner that you don't want to really happen. So if you are an Aries rising, the nodes of the moon in this eclipse is happening in your 9th house. That means you have Aries in the 1st house, you're an Aries rising. The eclipse is going to affect your 9th house. So for Aries rising, this is religion, higher education, it's spirituality, it's a culmination of your belief system and maybe the perceptions of belief coming back again. It's growth that will lead you to a natural conclusion about your beliefs in your life. So if you've been stuck in illusion or you've been in doubt about something, this eclipse is going to shine a light on that. Taurus, if you're a Taurus rising, that's going to be your 8th house. This is other people and karmic contacts. So if you have karmic relationships in your life, they may end in this eclipse season. They may be people being removed from your lives to make room for new people. They may be relationships ending. Things that aren't healthy for you, not the good things, things that aren't healthy for you. And this can be sometimes feel very ominous in the beginning, but then as you go through it, you're going to see that this is actually a reward. If you're a Gemini rising, this is happening in your 7th house. The 7th house is marriage and relationships. So as a Gemini rising, you might find that your partnerships are ending. And this could be not just love partnerships, but also business partnerships. The universe might clear out something that is actually a protection for you that you shouldn't be around. If you're a Cancer, this is going to happen in the 6th house. That's your house of health, daily routine. So you might find some emotional challenges because this is a very emotional lunar eclipse and Cancer is ruled by the moon. So you may find some really emotional conflicts, especially taking place in your body, like you get sick to release some kind of emotional things.
And how long is this lasting? Just through the eclipse or for how long?
Well, our eclipse cycle right now started actually in June of 2020. So we have,
okay. I thought you were going to say the weekend, so I would be wrong.
This eclipse is part of an eclipse cycle, and we have one more on June 10th, and then we go into a new cycle. So right now we're in the emotional depth as a lunar eclipse until the new moon comes in on the 10th.
Okay.
Because the new moon's going to set new intentions and new energy.
Mm-hmm.
So for the next, 2 weeks or so, we're going to kind of be in the introspection, in a little bit of the darkness of whatever this eclipse is removing, and then we rebuild. Okay?
Thanks. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I want you to jump in. So if you're 6, watch your health. If you're a Cancer, this is your 6th house, watch your health. It's a great time, though, if you're a Cancer rising, to start a health routine, go on a diet, go to the gym, things like that, because the universe will really support that. If you are a Leo rising, this is your creativity and children. It also could be some issues or trauma regarding your children in the sense that they have turning points in their life. Also, if you are a Leo rising, this is pregnancies, and you're very fertile right now. So if you don't want to have children, definitely take your precautions. But definitely turning points in relationships with children, and also turning points in where you seek pleasure and the way you seek pleasure. So for Leo's rising, if you've been seeking pleasure in places you shouldn't or overindulgent, then you're going to feel that in this eclipse. Virgo rising, this is your 4th house of home and family, your ancestors, your roots. So things to do with that are going to be completing. This could be a very healing time for you. Also, Virgo, since this is the 4th house of home, it could also be your physical home and actually moving or remodeling or doing some kind of a renovation on a home. So this is sometimes really your living space changes. Libras, if you're a Libra rising, this is your 3rd house of communication, siblings, sibling relationships with people who are like siblings or neighbors. This can really be healing, changing your mind about the way you perceive things because it's communication in that sector. So look for things that give you a different perception. It could also be turning points in your siblings' lives that you get involved in. Scorpio rising, this is your 2nd house. It's money and valuables. So if you are a Scorpio rising, this might affect you in the way of really thinking a little bit differently about money and what is valuable to you. You may find that the eclipse removes an opportunity only to bring you in a couple of weeks or a couple of months a better opportunity. For instance, you may lose a job that you didn't expect to lose, but that's because there's something much, much better coming in. Sagittarians. I'm a Sagittarius rising. So this is happening in our first house. Now, for Saggies out there, you're going to feel this sometimes when you have this much activity in your first house. It will cause you to have an energy drain. So really take care of yourself, rest properly, get in your routines and stay in them, eat high protein, lots of vitamins and things like that. But for the first house, Sagittarians, this is going to be a very huge turning point in your lives. This will be about health. It will also be your appearance. You may want to change your appearance in some way. Jupiter is in the 4th house of home for us. So this is also changing our home. Home can also be within, changing those spiritual beliefs, coming into renovations and new paradigms about the way we think. It could be an identity change. Very similar to what I was talking to Sally about. 18 years ago, when I got married, I changed my identity. I even changed my name. And then at the halfway mark, when the nodes were reversed, going through a separation where I completely changed my life, totally reinvented myself. So sometimes for Sagittarians, when there's an eclipse in your sign, you're going to really be reinvented. Capricorns, this is your 12th house. This is the destruction of anything that's unhealthy in your life. If you have a partner that's unhealthy for you and limiting you, they're going to probably be removed, or something's going to change about the relationship. If you have a habit, a lot of times when there's an eclipse in the 12th house, we see people going to AA, kicking, smoking, things like that. It's a total renaissance of anything that's been destructive for you. Aquarius rising, this is your 11th house. You guys are going to go through a renaissance with people and groups of people in your life. Your organizations are going to change. Your clubs, your structure, your friends are all going to change, especially with Jupiter in your 11th house. Jupiter's in Aquarius. That's going to be really making you renovate that social dynamic that you have. Jupiter right now is in Pisces, but it's going back to Aquarius. It's only in Pisces for a very short time. Pisces, this is your 10th house. Pisces rising, this is absolute career. It is job change. It can be promotions. It can be gains, because Jupiter's hovering in that sector right now for you as well. This is a lot of changes in your career sector and the way you make money and what you do for a living, and it will bring in a lot of opportunities. This will also be a sign where you may lose a job only to find you think you're panicking, and then something even better comes along. So just remember all of those for your rising signs and what house it's going to affect. We've got Pauline on here and Sarah. I've got Monica. When you look at a chart, Monica is asking how you know where your rising sign is. If we just want to go to this camera, Sally, so that I can put up a chart. So your charts are going to be similar in the sense it's going to be round like a pizza with all these 12 sectors. Those are called houses. So this is the chart of the moment. This isn't anyone's personal chart right now. But what you want to do is where you see this AC, that stands for ascendant. That is your rising in your chart. So wherever the ascendant is, that is going to be your rising sign. It's your first house, whatever sign is in your first house. So you can see in this chart, we've got a first house of Scorpio. So the moon is in Scorpio right now at this very moment. It's probably maybe have already egressed a little bit into Sagittarius. It's going to do that tonight. Sagittarius is the arrow, okay? If this is the symbol at the beginning of your chart, that's Capricorn. This is Aquarius. This is Pisces. This is Aries. This is Taurus. This is Gemini. This is Cancer. This is Leo. This is Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. So whatever symbol is in this first house right here in your chart, that is what your rising sign is. Okay? I hope you get that, Monica. So, do we have any callers? Come on, call in. I want to do your charts. So while I'm waiting for that, I am going to do some cards. I know you all love cards. There's a lot. There's a lot of card whores out there.
There are?
Yeah. Whenever I do cards, they're like, pick me. I want a card.
Yeah, but that's fun, though.
It is fun. So if you're a Cancer rising, Joanne, this is definitely going to affect you in your what did we say? Your seventh house, I think. I'm trying to count back now in my mind, all the 12.
Yeah, it was. You
Yeah,
said it was
Cancer's sixth
emotion
house.
or something.
Yeah, the sixth house. If you're a Cancer rising, this is going to be in a very emotional eclipse for you because you're ruled by the moon, and the moon is being shadowed. So this will bring out things that only you know in your shadow. So if you're a I'm sorry, I'm blowing my nose here. I'm allergic to something in the studio. So if you're,
She really is. We don't know what it is. She
really
walks
am.
in the door.
I come in, I'm fine.
And she's fine. And then 4 minutes in, she's like, all right, is there a cat in here? And we've redone the studio. We've actually pulled up everything and painted, and it doesn't matter. There's a cat in the wall somewhere.
There's some cat in the wall.
There's a cat in the wall.
It's a cat house.
Yeah.
That's where Dr. Seuss went.
Yes, he's
the
at
Cat in the
Gov's
Hat.
Radio.
The Cat in the Hat came to live at Gov's. Okay, so I'm being silly. So yeah, sixth house, Cancer. This is health, emotional challenges.
Yeah, that's what Tony is. I think he's a Cancer rising.
Well,
So-
they also, Cancers have Mars in their sign right now. So that's going to cause this emotional conflict in their life a little bit. So that's probably why he's cranky, Sally.
Yeah.
Tony, if you're listening, you have to take a nice pill. Be nice to my Sally. I need her. She's wonderful. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Elaine is a Pisces sun and a Gemini rising. Ooh, we were just talking about you Gemini risings.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's going to be marriage and relationships, Elaine. So it could be also business relationships if you have a business partnership coming up or something that you think is, maybe an opportunity in business. You may have some clearings of some relationships. All right. So I'm actually going to do something a little different with tarot tonight. I am going to go through the zodiac signs for you guys and tell you this is going to be, where's my thingy dingy? This is going to be, tonight I am going to do readings for the zodiac signs. I'm going to start with air signs. So if you are a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, these cards are for you. If your sun sign is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, this is your reading for the eclipse. All right. We're doing air signs first. My Geminis, my Libra, and my Aquarius. Spirit, please bring us some messages for our air signs of how this eclipse is going to affect them. I cannot shuffle tonight.
Yeah, that was an awful shuffle, I have to say.
Vegas just fired me.
Your spirits are laughing at you right now.
They have a sense of humor, I have to tell you. They have been really sometimes I'm so irreverent because some weird shit will happen. And can I say shit on Govs?
Yes.
And I'll be like, angels, are you messing with me? But I don't use the word messing. So
Am I being punked by the spirit world?
sometimes it happens. Okay, we got my air signs. Air signs, we started with the Knight of Wands. That is a fire sign, male, around you. My air signs for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We've got a fire sign male. We're going to have some action. Ooh, action with a fire sign male. But don't go in too deep because it could lead to heartbreak. So for my Geminis, my Libras, and my Aquarius, if someone new comes into your life right now and they are a fire signs are Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. They're going to come in really quick. This is like somebody comes in like a wrecking ball. A lot of action. And you're going to be smart enough to walk away. So don't get caught in the drama, my little Aries, my little air signs. If you can allow yourself to flow in this energy of whatever fire sign males are coming around you, and this is for my males who are an air sign as well. It can be a fire sign male coming in. Could be someone in business. They are not what they appear to be. So don't go all in with this person. Be very cautious and observe, because I do see you walking away from the situation. And when you walk away, you will have some emotion, but definitely keep going, because this person is not what they appear to be. You're going to try to avoid this heartbreak. You may feel a little bit of it. It's like it could be a disappointment. If it's not a romantic relationship and it's a business relationship, it may just be a disappointment. But don't be too disappointed, because I have the Three of Wands here, and that leads me to believe that if you look towards the future, you're going to see something much better.
Hold that up again. Sorry, I had the wrong camera.
That's the eclipse cycle.
Okay.
First we're going to be in this emotional, disappointing energy if something's cleared from us. Not for everybody, but for some. And then we're going to find something opening up. We've got leaves on these wands, so those leaves symbolize new birth. And again, we're doing air signs now, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So this Knight of Wands person, younger male, fire sign. Fire signs again are Sag, Aries, and Leo. You have a nostalgia about this person. This could be someone who comes into your life from the past or someone you've had a long relationship with. I almost get the energy of sibling or someone who is like a brother to you, or a romantic interest that comes back from the past. But it's someone who really stimulates nostalgia and triggers nostalgia in your life. So for my air signs, this fire sign male person that's coming back, don't let them undo the hard work that you've done on yourself. This is a pattern of someone coming in, trying to sell you a bill of goods, ending up being a thief in the night if you allow it. But you're too smart for that this time around, because all this beautiful hard work that you do pays off. And we've got all these coins, these pentacles coming to you. So this is really a good reading, actually. Something is going to be eliminated from your life because you see it for what it is. This is about truth. This is about something coming into you and really testing you, but you really passed the test. I'm going to pick 2 cards for the outcome now, and then a soul card. Yeah, this is definitely emotional for you. The lesson is don't carry other people's burdens. Don't throw yourself in their boat. I have this beautiful card here of the 10 of Wands. Wands are action, but this is someone who's carrying all the burden of someone that they shouldn't. So in a short, this reading for my air signs, my Gemini, Libra, and Aquarians, someone's coming in, could be a existing relationship, business or romantic, or someone coming back from the past, male, fire sign. It stimulates and triggers a pattern for you of taking on other people's issues, burdens. You have a little bit of a conflict about it, but in the end, you go back to the lessons you've already learned. You're smart enough to walk away from it. All the hard work you've done on yourself pays off, and the future brings you something much better. So that's the reading on this eclipse energy for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We're going to do water signs, but do we have a call?
Yeah, do you want to do a call first?
I do.
Okay.
Good evening. You are on the soul. You are in the soul space with Georgia Rose from Zencuda. How are you doing?
Hi, Georgia. This is Pauline. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Pauline.
I did not know that you were doing the tarot for a group of people, so I thought I'd call in. But if
What
if
sign
it's
are
better,
you?
I don't do that.
Yeah, what sign are you?
I'm a Sag.
Oh, so we're going to do you, where is my Sagittarius? We're going to do you last. You're going to be fire. So stick around and we'll do things for you. So
Okay, so you want me to hang up?
yeah, but first I want to know, what happened last week? Because I know we were talking about some stuff going on, and I did a read for you. Did any of that happen?
I forgot it already. I don't remember what you told me anymore. It's like I'm getting so much information. I'm starting to delete a lot of stuff in my brain.
I told you to
I'm
listen
sorry.
a bit more carefully now. Just kidding.
I think I called and asked about this twin flame, and I asked so many questions that I said I'm going to have a reading with you is what I
Yes.
think we decided.
So how
But
are
I haven't had a chance to do anything, and I was going to ask if you were going to do a tarot thing, because something's going on, but he's being very mysterious, and I'm trying to get that info without.
Well, when we get to the fire signs, we'll see what comes up for you. But how
Okay,
is
he's
this?
a fire sign too. That's why I thought that was very appropriate. Well, both the Leo Rising. So
Okay.
everything I just heard what you said about Leo Rising with the
Yeah.
eclipse energy.
Yeah. So, Pauline, how is this eclipse energy affecting you as a Saggy? Are you feeling tired?
I'm actually doing a lot of healing work, having a lot of healing work done to me, so I'm releasing a lot.
That's good. That's a perfect timing for that. So stay
And it
tuned.
was Moon in Scorpio, and now we're in Void of Course, so I'm thinking,
Yeah.
oh, now that it's going into Sag, it's perfect.
That's
now
right.
now I have a lot of pep and a lot of energy right now.
Yeah. It
But
might feel a little different
the person
when you
who I
wake up
believe is
tomorrow.
the twin flame is having a hell of a time. It's not his shit. It's
Wow.
his family's crap.
Well, don't take that on, okay?
I know. That's what I was trying not to be involved. I decided to just step away and let them deal with it.
Okay, so we'll do the fire signs last. I'm going to do water signs now, so we'll talk to you then.
Okay, thank
right.
you. I'll hang up so I can listen
Okay.
on. Thank you.
That's fine. So we're going to do water signs now. This is for my Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer friends out there. This is for the eclipse energy and how it's going to affect you between now and June 10th. My water signs. You're feeling a little confused, my water signs.
Cancer, what and what?
It's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces.
Okay.
So my water signs, you have to step up a little bit. And when I say step up a little bit, water signs, I mean that you have to take responsibility for the things that you're feeling. Do not detach. I know water signs sometimes have a habit of detaching, and I have to say, don't do that in this energy, because if you can go a little bit deep and really be introspective enough to see what's going on with your shadow right now, with what's really deep inside, I think you're going to find that there's revelations there that bring you to another level in your life. I have the World card upside down, and when I get that, it usually means confusion to me. But if you are a water sign and you're feeling a little confused in this energy, or a little doubtful, or a little bit scattered, just know that when we get confused, it's actually a good thing. It's a positive sign, because that means something is changing. And eclipses do nothing if they don't change things. They are big life changers. So I also have the Star card here, and the Star card, when it comes out, is usually a card of, am I using this camera, Sal? Or this one?
You know what? Go back to where you were. Yeah.
So the Star card in tarot is a card which is about merging your spiritual and material lives. And I feel like my water signs out there, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, you're doing some really deep work. Don't avoid it. Don't detach from it. Keep doing it, because this card is symbolic of merging both your spiritual and your material life and really bringing yourself to a great place. We just lost that card.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
And then I have the Hangman. This is my Libra card. So for all you water signs out there, my Scorpios, Pisces, and Cancers, I think you've got an influence with a Libran energy. I feel like it's a Libran female, but it could be male. But if you have Librans around you right now, my little water signs, I think that there's going to be some changes. You may feel like this person is depriving you of something or disappointing you in some way. You may find the relationship with them ending. I think there's been a lot of interference in the relationship. All these cards are upside down for my water signs. This is definitely a relationship, I'm sad to say, being removed. And I don't think it's a bad thing, though. I think that this is something that you're okay with. But it's definitely a Libra energy or an air energy around you, water signs, being removed. I feel like this is also because of interference. When I say interference in a relationship, that could be someone who has another interest, or it could also be someone that you both know that's just a pain in the neck and always coming between you. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone who's cheating or has another interest. It could just be interference in some way. It could be a job that someone's a workaholic. But I feel like this Libran energy for my water signs is definitely a culmination of a relationship. For those of you who are going through divorce or separation of a long relationship right now, and your partner was a Libra, just do not fall into the trap of thinking that you have no identity without this person, because I feel like that's going to be a challenge for you. Don't go into your shell. Don't detach. You need to put yourself out in the world in order to find the next chapter that you're going to. The eclipse may remove something, but it's also bringing in a blessing. I feel like you are upside down right now, and you need to stabilize your life. And the way that you're going to do that, my water signs, is by allowing yourself time to grieve over this relationship, understanding that grief can also be a very big healing process for us. As we allow emotions to come to the surface, we find power within them. So don't avoid grief or sadness. Allow yourself to flow through it so that you can process that into a healing place of wisdom for you. You will be okay. You will always be okay, and know that, and tell that to yourself on a regular basis. Yeah, there's the Pisces card. So this is definitely for my water signs. You may be going through a little bit of a dip right now, but there's on the horizon some really great stuff happening for you. So take that with you, water signs. I'm actually going to do a soul card for the culmination of this part of the reading, because I do feel this energy. Well, it's heavy and it's the removal of something. I have to be really honest. It turns out to be a really good thing for you, as long as you allow the emotions to flow through you and transform them into the powerful things that they can be for you. If you try to go into distraction, addiction, any kind of a habit to bring yourself away from the emotions that you're feeling, any kind of detachment, you're not going to get the reward. And there you are. This is a rebirth for all of my water signs. This is Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. You're going to go through a challenge. Not going to lie, but the challenge is really there to bring you some beautiful, beautiful things. If you look at this, you have this beautiful, and blue is always my color of nurturing, of renewal. really, this is you going through a rebirth and a renaissance that's going to come for you. So I'd love to hear from any of my Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer risings out there if this is accurate and you're going through something like this. Hi, Andrew. How are you doing? So next I'm going to do my earth signs. And earth is, if you are a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, this reading is for you to show you what the energy of the eclipse is going to symbolize and bring into your life. This is for my Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgos. Okay. My earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, you got to work a little harder for some things. I feel like you may be distracted, very distracted right now, and we want you to come away from that distraction. Some of those distractions are from their past. You're still carrying some burdens from your past karma, and you need to release them. It's a really good idea during the eclipse to spend time in contemplation out in the earth, in nature. If you could do some kind of a releasing ceremony or go through Reiki or something like that, I think that would be a really good sign, good time for my earth people. The other thing I'm feeling with earth people is that out of balance. And you know, earth likes balance. And I feel like because symbolically during this eclipse, the earth shadow is going to be over the moon, I feel like you're struggling with some emotion right now. I actually pulled the moon card. And this is really symbolic for me of the eclipse. But it's also really symbolic that right now, during this eclipse, the earth shadow will be cast over the moon. And you are an earth sign. So you are actually creating shadow. So I feel like maybe you guys are in a situation where you're your own worst enemy. Like you can't see the forest for the trees. So whatever is coming into your life as disappointment, try and release that and transform it to joy in some way. You know, I feel like you're in a little bit of a rut, my earth signs. And we need to get you out of that. So let's try and bring some balance into your life. It's a great time to meditate. The veil between worlds is very thin right now. And I feel like many of you have great intuition, but you're not listening to it. You're too bogged down in the third dimension of distraction.
Are you here?
So try and really bring yourself into deep meditation, shamanic journeying, things like that to bring your intuition out, to transform the heavier energy that you're feeling into lighter energy. So I feel like some of my earth signs out there are definitely getting some heavy energy right now. So we can clear that if you do some shamanic journeying, some Reiki, or just meditation, go for a walk in the park. Okay, I'm going to do my fire signs. Actually, I'm going to just pick one card from the soul cards to close the reading for the earth signs, because I know that sounded like a very negative reading, and it's not. What the world wants you to do.
Sure was.
Well, no, because what the universe is really asking the earth signs to do is to process your emotion. Go deep. Do a deep dive, because there's jewels there. There's golden opportunities there. There's wisdom there that's going to bring you into the next beautiful blessings in your life. But if you don't take the deep dive, you can't find them. So really, you know, earth signs, you got to do the deep dive. You got to spend some time alone, figure it out, make it better, you know, go through a little healing process. And boy, after you do that, it's like the Phoenix Rising. So this card is going to be, yeah. See, this is the darkness. But if you look, you've got light down here. All this light, all of the darkness that's on this head of this person, this being, all of the darkness is from outside forces. It's from things you're allowing in. So you've got to process that so that you can be in the light the way that you are naturally. You know, this eclipse season is also about, this eclipse, especially this full moon eclipse on tomorrow morning, is also very much about us going towards the things in our life that are really our authenticity, what we're here, what our purpose really is. And the way we do that is to dive deep and find what's always been there. So 18 years ago, a seed was planted. Something happened that inspired you or was an emotion that you had. And now that this eclipse is coming around full circle in the same place, it's about you finding that again and knowing it was always there. You know, how many times we reinvent ourselves and we're doing things we never did before and we're like, this feels familiar to me. This feels like it's really who I am. That's what this eclipse is about. Sag and Gemini want us to go into the higher mind, the higher realm, to find that beautiful authenticity that we all are. and it's going to be different for each one of us. So the fire signs we're going to do now is Sag, Aries, and Leo. My favorite are fire signs. So Sag, Aries, and Leo. Like I said, Saggies, you might be feeling a little bit tired. It may, anytime you have a lot going on in your ascendant, it sometimes can affect the physical body. Others may feel really inspired by fire sign on fire signs. But the fire signs are going to take a little bit of a hit. And also anybody who has anything in their chart that is around, I'd say between 5 and 12 degrees, like if a planet is in any place in the chart on those degrees, you're going to feel this eclipse pretty well. It's going to affect that planet. Okay, I'm going to shuffle these really, really good because I feel like we didn't shuffle them that well last time. But we're getting different cards, so. So how are you guys all doing out there? John Burnett is on. Haven't seen him in a while. Sarah's a Leo. So this is for you, Sarah. These are fire signs. It's Sag, Aries, Leo. Okay, let's go, my fires. Fire signs, you are in balance. This eclipse is going to bring you to a higher place in your life. Fire signs, you've got one more hurdle to do before you reap some more rewards. That hurdle has to do with going towards what your authenticity is in your life, completing something that needs completion in the area of your purpose in the world, really. That's the only way I can sum it up. This is realizing, my fire signs, that the impossible is possible and that you have the power to complete them. You also have someone coming in, which is an earth sign. And I feel like this is something that does get removed from your life. No, I feel like the earth sign is something that comes into your life to show you that you need to remove something else from your life. So there is a removal here, and I think it's a romantic relationship for some, but that removal is not a painful loss. It's like you initiate it, you're okay with it, you need to change your life. That's how you just feel. You're coming out of this eclipse feeling like, I need to change something, and I'm just going to do it.
And it's the earth sign that helps the fire sign with this, but not necessarily.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like someone in your life that is an earth sign is actually pushing this other energy out. Really like a mentor, someone who has a lot of vitality that is, helping you to make the change. I also feel earth signs, Sag, Aries, Leo. I feel like there's someone from the other side, a male energy, could be your father, grandfather's uncle, but it's a male energy from the other side that's really speaking to you right now, inspiring you, giving you a new paradigm. It could be someone from, your ancestral lineage that you knew or didn't know, but have heard of, that is familiar to you. I feel like this person is almost like coming in to show you how it can be different. So maybe the person that you kind of push out and are done with is a family member. And I feel like this other earth sign that comes in helps you reconcile that. And someone from your past, it could be, like I said, a past family member, someone in the other side, actually inspires you to change that relationship. In order to make this very clear, I'm going to give you like an example. Like suppose you had a relationship with a sibling or a cousin or a family member that was very narcissistic or abusive, or just the person just rubs you the wrong way. It's been really tragic for you in your life, or it's really caused you some kind of deprivation or dis-ease. This person was also closely related to this male energy on the other side. And now that they are on the other side, they see it for what it is and are helping you see it for what it is. That's how I feel this energy plays out. And I know that sounds kind of complicated, but I have to tell you, that's what I'm getting. So this is Sag, Aries, and Leo sun signs. Yeah, and it's definitely a death and rebirth. This is your intuition coming in to help you really navigate this and being rewarded for hard work. And the hard work is knowing that this relationship, even though you have to clear it, you're going to be fine without it. And it's almost like a relationship that you have been, I don't even know the right word, like you have been not abused, I don't want to say that, but it's like a relationship where you have been limited your whole life because you've been trying to make this work and it just doesn't work. And yeah, this is the soul card that I picked to culminate the reading. And if you look at there's like a dragon almost down here, very symbolic of our shadow, of limited energy, of someone in our life that pulls our energy away from us. And if you look at the face and the light around this person, it's like they've reconciled the dragon. They realize where the darkness lies and are eliminating it, and they're fine. They're absolutely fine. Without that weight dragging them down, they actually have a renewal in their life. So that's how I see the energies. So those are the signs for air, water, earth, and fire for that eclipse coming in. And what do you think of all that, Sal?
So you're saying it's going to be really heightened right now, and it's gonna it's going to move into something different around June 10th or 11th. So it's just really focus on all of this stuff right now.
Yeah, and also the fact that this is happening in the sign of Sagittarius is also very symbolic, because if you look on in the chart, the symbol for Sagittarius is the arrow. And so here we are in Sagittarius, the symbol is the arrow, and this lunar eclipse is also happening with the south node of the moon, which is the past. It's our past karma. It's what we bring into this life and need to discharge. And if you think about the symbol of Sagittarius being that arrow, in life, what do you do with an arrow? You pull it back in order to hit the target. If this was an arrow and I took it and I just threw it, it may hit the target. But if I pull it back to get the right tension, and I aim and I focus and then I go, that arrow is going to hit the target. That's the lesson of the Sagittarian energy. So we all have to do the deep dive. We all have to go back a little bit, look, survey, observe, in order to hit the target we really want to hit. So that south node in Sag pulls us back so we can really hit that north node in Gemini, which is our communication, our shifting of paradigms, our purpose in the world, our higher mind. So that's really, in a nutshell, what the eclipse is going to bring. We have a caller. Our shifting of paradigms.
You're going to have to lower your radio.
World. Yes. Our higher mind. I just want to answer this question. Jojo Frazielli is asking, she was born at 7 months instead of 9 months. So is she still the true sign in her birth chart? Absolutely, yes. You were born at 7 months for a reason, and you were born when those planets and those stars were all aligned in exactly that space. You were meant to be born then. That's why you were born at 7 months old.
Yeah, I completely agree with that because, as you know, my 21-year-old was born almost 4 months early. And he was supposed to be a Cancer, and he ended up being a Pisces, and he's such a Pisces. Like, he's so Pisces.
See, so the universe knows what it's doing. It's much more wise and loving than we know.
Yeah.
Someone else commented about the allergy I'm having. I think it's because we turned on the AC, and we probably just need to clean the filter.
Yeah, I'll be doing. I actually put it down on my calendar. All right.
Oh.
Anyway, should we take this call?
Yeah. Who's on the phone?
All right. Hello.
Welcome to Soul Space. How are you doing?
All right, they left. Sorry.
It was probably Google.
Yeah, maybe. No, I think they were so loud, so maybe they didn't understand that they needed to lower the thing, and then they just left. But
so guys, you can play back the video. The readings that I did were first your sun signs. I broke them up into air, earth, water, and fire. I do that because obviously we don't have time in an hour to do all 12 signs. And usually the reading will be pretty similar, and I ask Spirit to come and give me those messages. But earlier, when I was doing the houses of how the eclipse will affect you, that was your rising signs, all right? So, our caller's back.
Yeah, it's the same one. Welcome to the show.
Yes, hi, this is Georgia Rose. This is Steve Schwartz.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Hi, I want to ask Georgia Rose a question.
Yes. Go ahead.
Please go ahead.
Hi, I want to ask you a question. My mom is very sick right now. She's got, so great myself. My mom's very sick with, she probably has pneumonia or something going on. She has pneumonia. She's very sick, and I just wanted to see if she's going to get better soon.
Well, I'm not a doctor, but I can say a lot of it is probably an emotional. I believe when we have disease in the body, it's emotional stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, David, I think your mom needs a lot of rest. So I'm picking cards now, and I feel like we definitely need a lot of rest. I would definitely try and do whatever you can to make your mom as comfortable as possible. Don't aggravate her or annoy her. Give her whatever she wants, and also make sure that she keeps drinking fluids. Make sure she goes to the doctor. I know you called in last week and said she wasn't seeing a doctor.
Yeah.
But I feel like more than anything, your mom needs you and anyone else who's in the house to really give her calm.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Well, if you could pray for her, that'd be great.
Yes, we will. We'll send her out some love. Everyone in the Zencuda community, if you could just send some love to David's mom, we could do that. And thank you so much for calling this show, David.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Sally, how's your show going? Who have you had on the show?
Who we might have on Thursday? Have you heard of Jessica Curson?
No, tell me about
She's
her.
she's a comedian. She's kind of a big time comedian. She might come in on Thursday. I haven't gotten a call back to confirm, but it was confirmed about a month ago, so hopefully.
Sally is on Knock 'em Dead Comedy every morning. So if you want to tune into Govs for that, she's going to have all kinds of guests on. Sally has a lot of the comedians from the Gov Comedy Club on. And I'm going to start doing some live on-air readings with some of the comics as well. So we have that to look forward to in the next few weeks. And if there's anything that you guys would like to see me do a topic on, definitely let me know. Okay? And we'll put it on the show.
I had kind of a question. Like when it comes to when the four, the earth, air, fire. Gosh, I can't remember the last one.
Earth, air, fire, and water.
Yeah,
The elements.
when they're all going through so many different things over something like an eclipse, like how do we be there for each other? Because we seem to be going through like so many different things, and we seem to be all heightened. And
the energy gets very heightened, and I think what we have to do is, I say this almost on every show, but I think what we have to do is keep our vibration high. And one of the ways we can do that is by spending time with ourselves. And I think when energy is heightened, we have a tendency to go into chaos. And keep putting more and more things on our plate because we're like this and we're like, no, I can do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
And that's the actual opposite of what we should be doing.
Yeah. And I actually feel that the last few days, like I feel like I'm so busy and, like even just something that everyone goes through with just keeping their house straightened.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
Yeah. I feel like, for the last few days, I'm exhausted trying to keep it looking nice and then I'll enter another room and I'm like, I can't believe how messy this room is. Like, how does this even happen?
Yeah, well, everything feels like it's speeded up right now.
Yeah.
And also this is a time, especially when Saturn goes retrograde, we have time hops a lot of times because Saturn is time. And what we have to learn, I had a 6-page download on Sunday morning that Spirit gave to me, and one of the things he started off with, he said time is something man created. Your idea of time was man made. And the only time there is the divine timing. So we get speeded up sometimes when the planets are in certain places, and especially when Saturn is retrograde, we have a tendency to misconstrue time. And we'll lose time, or we'll feel like time is going very slow, or, we'll look up and the clock will be 3 hours and we're like, where did 3 hours go? That's definitely where Saturn is right now.
Okay.
And as a result of the eclipse energy as well, the electromagnetic fields in the earth get a little skewy because we're going to have a shadow cast over, one of the luminaries. So that also goes a long way in us now feeling heightened because we're electrical too. We're electrical beings, right? We're light. So the things that sometimes don't seem important all of a sudden become really important. Like you might not notice the house before.
Yeah.
And now it's in your line of vision all the time.
Yeah.
So when those things happen, I always say they're very symbolic. I was on the phone with someone this morning, and they were telling me about how something very insignificant in their life that they did actually caused them to have tremors and shake. And I said, well, yeah, that's probably because it's symbolic of you shifting something in your life. So those are the kind of things you want to watch for during an eclipse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found this all completely interesting. So
it is very interesting. And also, if you want to go on my website, speaking of light and the planets, I have these beautiful cards called Circle of Light. They're on the Zencuda.com site, and you can purchase them. And each card is a deck of 22 cards that I put a lot of energy into, so you'll feel them right away. Everyone who has these cards loves them. And they help keep you in the circle of light by giving you a daily message, or you can use them as oracle cards or with other people. So that also answers Sally's question about how do we stay, grounded, and how do we stay in light when we're going through some turmoil, and how do we help each other? It's really staying in the light and keeping our vibration high. So I want to thank you all for coming into the Soul Space tonight. If you get a chance, come on down to Gov's Comedy Club and see some of the comedians. Laughter is the best way to raise your vibration. And you can also, if you would like a personalized reading or a zodiac chart, I also do tarot readings online, and I do healing sessions. You can find me on Zencuda.com, Zencuda Official on Instagram, and of course on Facebook on Zencuda by Georgia Rose. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is the energy I source my life from, and I love you all out there in the Zencuda community.